I'm Lori Burkhart-Frank. Thank you for joining me for this special Women's History segment of Nevada County Now, where we are exploring the lives of women around our community who are themselves making history. I'd like to introduce you to my special guest, Cristina Smith. Cristina is an award-winning author of Yoga for the Brain series, a sought-after speaker, trainer, coach, and founder of Subtle Energy Center. She lectures, leads workshops internationally on mindfulness, personal and professional fulfillment, inner peace, and mind-body connection for greater health and success. Welcome, Cristina.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's so great to have you here. And I didn't even begin to add the list of the many, many things that you do. I do want to start with something about women in history. And is there a woman in history that you really look up to, and why?
Well, kinda. Because I really find that every woman inspires me differently. Everyone I meet, I find inspiration from, because my base philosophy is everyone knows more about something than I do, and I really want to interact with someone to get to know them and as much as I can from them.
So what motivates you?
Ooh, well, I'm motivated by a variety of things, but I would say creativity, curiosity, community, compassion, and service.
Well, that's going to go right into my next question, which is, reading your bio, I see a real flow to the variety of passions in your life. Chef, coach, author, trainer, speaker, musician, community leadership. So what is the inspiration for all of these, the flow in your life?
The inspiration for the flow in my life is a lot of time spent alone, and in meditation and in silence, and getting to know myself as well as I can. And then if something sparks my creativity and really makes me want to go, I follow my dreams.
Well, you're definitely inspirational to me as I see all these different things that you've been involved in. And how do you know, or did you know when it was time to do something different?
Well, life ebbs and flows. So the way I approach life is steering and flowing. I'll have an idea, I'll steer it to however it goes, and then if it comes to a point where it doesn't move through, then I let it flow and see what it brings back to me. So in that philosophy, I sit with my truth and feel through it, contemplate it, apply it on, is it true in my heart? Is it true in my soul? Is it true in my head? And then I allow. So it's the yoga of life.
Really great example. And do you rely on your intuition, or do you see a logical path ahead of you? Because again, you've done so many different things.
Yes. The answer is yes to both of them.
Okay, that's great. Because I was wondering if it was more left brain, right brain, but it's more natural.
Well, you train both sides. So someone who might be more inclined toward the intuitive might want to do something to help strengthen their logical, and vice versa.
And what does it mean to you to be a woman in today's world?
That I can explore a lot of different facets of myself and follow where my bliss leads me.
Can you tell us one thing about yourself that most people don't know?
Yeah, I play in a rock band, and last week at this time, I was playing at the iconic Whiskey A Go-Go in the rock band in front of hundreds, or maybe thousands of people. And I play guitar and keyboards, and it's so much fun.
Okay, I don't know what keytar is.
Oh, keytar. It's like a guitar, like a keyboard that's on a guitar body. So it's like a keyboard, wear it around your neck, and it's got keys on it.
Wow, and where is Whiskey Gold?
In Hollywood.
Wow,
I was in Hollywood.
You get around, Cristina.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun following my dreams, and through service and compassion and creativity and curiosity.
Well, there's another question I really wanted to ask, because I know you wrote a book about the Great Gatsby cookbook, and I'm so fascinated about that time frame. What drew you to that?
I'll be honest with you. Now, I've written and published 13 different books. And so some of them were self-published and some of them were with a traditional publisher. So the publisher reached out to me knowing my skills as a chef and said, hey, it's the 100-year anniversary of the Great Gatsby, and it's coming into the public domain. We would love for you to write this cookbook and use parts of the Great Gatsby in there. And as a matter of fact, I brought you a copy of the cookbook.
Oh, I am so excited.
So I had such a good time rereading the Great Gatsby, because it was at the 100-year anniversary, and there were so many things that were similar to 2021 or
Yes.
that was happening in 1921, and bringing it up to the modern world and the modern perspective. So it was really a great adventure.
And I do want to ask you a little bit more about the Yoga for the Brain books.
Okay.
And so tell me about those books.
They have a really warm place in my heart because I did them with my brother. My brother and I worked on them together. Now, my brother's idea of a great fun time, he's a retired technologist, and so he loves creating programs that create games. So I love to write. So this Yoga for the Brain is they're either word search puzzles or Sudoku puzzles with a twist. I have some 60 author books where each one of them wrote a short piece, and we created a word search puzzle out of it, and then created a secret message that you decode after you solve the puzzle.
I'm going to have to get some.
And it
because that
includes a
fun.
number of our local authors here as well.
Wow. Oh my gosh. This is very fun. Well, yeah, it's there's not enough time to talk about all these different things that you do, but I think we touched on the chef, the writing, the rock band. I think that's all really great. Another thing I want to talk about is community leadership, because you got very involved in fire prevention.
Yes.
And you have a story to share about a fire that you were part of?
Yeah, I was a part of the very first firestorm of the 21st century in 2003. It was in San Diego, and it was called the Cedar Fire. And so I was one of the first people who lost my homes. And the community I was living in, we decided to form a bigger community of folks that had this experience, because it's the one thing that we all have in common. And we may not have anything else in common. So we set up a whole community group around recovering, going from being a survivor to a thriver, from a victim to a survivor to a thriver, let's just call it that. And through that, I helped start a fire safe council and facilitated CERT programs and became CERT certified. So it started a whole chain of events within our community.
Yeah, and that's just amazing to be able to take a personal tragedy and not only get through it yourself, but to help your community.
Yes, it is. So many people, you know what the most important thing was that people needed to do to start their healing process? It was to tell their story. When they joined, we started by having them share their story, because once you've entered that group with your story, then everyone's connected.
That is powerful. That is very powerful. It makes perfect sense, but I had not put that together. But that makes a lot of sense.
Well, stories are one of the most connecting things that humans interact through. It even makes, as an author, you connect. It's this amazing thing where you can connect with your reader over time and space through your stories, even though the timeline is way different.
And I didn't notice, have you written novels?
I have not. I've write all nonfiction.
Yeah, well, and then you also coach people who are looking to publish their books.
Yes, I've helped thousands of authors write and publish their books through the company I work with called authorsuccess.com. And I work with authors around the world and help them self-publish their books.
That's very exciting. And one other thing that I want to ask you about is founder of Subtle Energy Center. So tell me a little bit about that.
So I have a long history of being interested in the science and spirituality and where they meet. And so the Subtle Energy Center is about that. I put on, 6 or 7 subtle energy retreats, drawing scientists and spiritual leaders who were looking for that integrative approach between science and spirituality for many years. And it really helped what now is kind of life, but I was doing it in the 2010s, and would really bring it to the forefront and making it more accessible for folks.
Well, it's fantastic. And I'm amazed, Cristina, at how, as I said at the beginning, this flow of activities that you've been involved in, these passions, And you are such a calm person, and you've got so much going on.
Yeah, well, I'm living a life that I love, and I really encourage everyone to do that. The life that you love is going to be different than mine, but get to know yourself well enough so that you can set yourself up for success and following your dreams.
Great advice for all of us. Thank you, Cristina, for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you so much, Lori. I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching this special Women's History segment of Nevada County Now. Make sure to check out our other interviews. Our community is full of amazing women like Cristina Smith.